I wonder if poetry can solve world problems, to bring clarity and peace where it doesn't exist. And I know it might not, but what it will do is to give you a means to make peace with your own deepest feelings. Words written or spoken which resound with our feelings give us means to understand ourselves better. This is Sunil Bhandari, and you are listening to Uncut Poetry. The tragedy of the other. Maybe, finally, there will be a silence there, which lets children's voices resound the way it is supposed to, and there is space for them to run free. For too long, beliefs of the wise have imprisoned them, and hatred of the ages has defiled them. Our hearts break, and we cry deep in the night, when secretly we know we are the ones, yes, we who have let them fester, let them be defined, let them be spawned into hatred, till nothing matters apart from the contorted belief. And the very definition of ecstasy becomes the bullet which finds fetuses in God's name, and fanatics' hatred rupturing again and again, and again and again, till it becomes a war cry camouflaged as a tear, easy to bluff a world eager to believe anything which appears in the fresh edition of the morning paper. Like almost every human being in this world, I am perforce political. The fact that I rarely let that side of me seep into my art hasn't stopped me from seeing, reading, feeling, reacting. And the singular skew of the narrative, and the increasing sharpness of tone of response, and the frightening cohesion of ideologues is disturbing. It's a tragedy of our times that time and again we face a world where human beings are raised into dust and we are asked to be selectively outraged. One fetus torn out of a mother's womb is less talked about than the bombed-out hospital full of children which is cynically being used to shelter terrorists. I read, I observe, academically, artistically, with growing dismay. I can see how everything is distorted, where bastions of free media are compromised, and ideology masquerades as unbiased thinking, mendacity struts as editorial slant. The manipulation of images and stories, the surging protests, the singular pointedness of agony without referencing reasons are not so much changing my world as making it progressively clear how we are puppets in the industry of the proselyte. I see good friends, well-meaning chums, whose centrist belief of live and let live has conjoined with mine. And we have been similarly outraged at extremities of all kinds, until we started noticing the growing mendacity of feed, the slow poisoning of the storytelling as it were, and the horrors of both the right and left paled in front of the terror of the liberal. The facade of civilization and the plumb accents of those who stood cemented in medieval thought was flooding both news and the timelines. The thinker Neville Ravikant wrote in his almanac, quote, "Any belief you took in a package is suspect and should be re-evaluated from base principles. I try not to have too much I have pre-decided. I think creating identities and labels locks you in and keeps you from seeing the truth." Unquote. For good measure, he added, "To be honest, speak without identity." And as the world was beset with one calamitous flagration after another, it was clear how truth was always the first victim in the tragedy. Newspapers had vitriolic opinion pieces masquerading as front-page news items. Prominent news channels had clear religious agendas behind their reputation of credibility. Poets tore their hearts out only when deaths occurred on one side of the border. All this was open secret for those who studied, observed, knew. What is new is how ruthlessly the present tragedy has revealed the hypocrisies of peddlers. The fangs have been revealed for the whole world to see. But are we learning? Go back to what Neville had said. We are all so intricately tied with our ideologies and beliefs that to now abandon them is to lose the core of what we stood for. We would be othered in the very society which has given us our identity. So we keep quiet, and the overwhelming lie of the aggressor grows and fills the empty space. I write this as my attempt to reclaim that lost space inside me. I want to take a stand for myself, to delve deeper into the history and culture and devilish agenda to understand the cynicism of the narrative disguised as a torn body or a dulcet poem. This is Sunil Bhandari, and you are listening to Uncut Poetry. If you enjoyed this poem, rate it on Spotify or leave a comment on Apple Podcast. And I have a lovely newsletter called The Uncuts, which is like a Sunday dollop of warmth and fun and beauty. Subscribe to it. The link is in the show notes. And if you loved this episode, please do share it with someone you love. See you next week.